Hi, everyone. So, I haven't done an episode devoted to holiday work parties yet, and I know that I don't work for people anymore and I don't have to go to holiday parties anymore, but I can't help but remember them every time the holidays come around. So, I thought, there's people that still work for other people or with other people or whatever, so maybe some of you will find this relatable. But holiday parties fucking sucked. And I just want to talk about how dumb they were. And it's kind of funny looking back, but like, oh my God, going through them was just excruciatingly painful. It just was. So I thought, why not just take a look back over the years of holiday parties and remember all the fun times I had. So I'm going to start with the military because that was the first time. Well, no, I had a job before then, but I didn't have to go to any holiday parties when I worked like in the bakery and the commissary. And maybe like my parents took us to like holiday parties when we were kids or whatever, but I probably blocked those out because they were so horrible. But I just never have liked being around a large group of people before. So anyways, military. This is coming from 20 years ago, and if there's anybody in the military listening to this now, in the American military, I have no idea if anything's changed. I don't keep in touch with anybody in the military anymore, so this is just going off of what I had to experience 20 years ago. In the military, we did not get an option not to go to a fucking Christmas party. And I think the way they were looking at it was you get a salary. So since you're not paid hourly and you just get like a salary, I guess they think they can own you and tell you what to do at all hours of the fucking day. Like these are the people that make you go to your yearly doctor visits. They make you get dental appointments on a regular basis. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, but like people don't get any choices. They make your appointments for you. At least that's what they used to do. And they would tell you, this is when your appointment is, this is when you have to go. So I hated shit like that. And then every time Christmas came around, oh my God, the fucking holiday parties sucked balls. Sorry for the amateur reference, but like it just fucking sucked. There was this one time when they did it at the command post, and there was a total of like 20 of us total working there. So everybody would come in and they would do their stupid little Secret Santa bullshit, and then I would have to participate. Back in the military is when I started making sure that I was on the schedule, like during holiday Christmas parties as much as possible. That didn't always work out. Or working on the holiday itself, which I did that, I think, at least 4 out of the 5 years I was in the military. I worked on Christmas because I was like early 20s. I didn't have a family. And I remember thinking it doesn't make sense for me to take this day off because there's people that have families. And I was just a kid. Like, I don't even think I put up a Christmas tree or decorations anyways, like in the places where I lived. So working on the holiday didn't give us any extra like pay since we were salaried, but, I just felt better that, like, the families were getting time with their families. And plus, the part that wasn't so bad was the officers would come in on Christmas Eve and they would bring me and the other controller on duty, like, food, like ham and stuff and Christmas goodies. And they would sing us carols, which I thought was hilarious. They would come every year. They would bring, I don't know, 10 adults or something. I don't even think there were any kids, and they would have like these printed out sheets with the lyrics to Christmas songs on them, and they would give them to me and my other controller, and they would start singing to us, and we were expected to sing along. Yeah, that part I didn't like. But when they left, me and the other controller, we were really good friends and we tried to get on shift together as much as possible. We would take the lyrics that they gave us on the pieces of paper and we would like cross them out and add our own like dirty lyrics and then sing each other Christmas songs with like the dirty lyrics that we wrote down. Very immature, but very hilarious at the time. And so that was that. But mid-December, there was like no escaping going to a holiday party or having to like attend one at work. So another year, sorry for the gross sounds. Another year they had the holiday party at the NCO club, which is just the non-commissioner officers club that's just so boring to say, but they had the holiday party at the NCO club. I hated places like that. They seemed so boring. It's just like all these like military dependents would go to like NCO clubs or officers clubs and like play slot machines and just, I don't know, hang out with their boring friends. So one year we went to the NCO club and I tried getting out of it and I was not successful because they would threaten you. Like if you don't go to the Christmas party, they would write you up and then Monday morning you would have to be standing at attention in front of the first shirt, which I guess that's an important person. Don't ask me to explain like the position. You can go look it up on the handy dandy internet, but the person was called the first shirt. For lack of like a better term. That's all I remember. And that was terrifying to me. I didn't want to have to stand at attention in front of somebody and be yelled at for not attending a fucking party. So I would go and I just wouldn't talk to anybody. I would go sit in a corner. I would find some snacks, like if they had like pie or whatever. And if it was store-bought, I definitely ate it. Like I wouldn't eat anything that anybody brought that they made. Like a potluck. Ugh. Fucking gross. But I would grab like a piece of pie and go sit in the corner because I remember that the room itself was pretty big, but it was dark lighting. So I wasn't really seen that easily. You know, we didn't have cell phones back in the day. I mean, we kind of did. They were like the flip phones. You couldn't do much with them. So it's not like I was like in the corner entertaining myself on an iPhone and playing games to pass the time. I was bored out of my mind. And I didn't know a whole bunch of people because like people were bringing their spouses and their kids and I would maybe hang out with like one of my work friends for a little bit. But they enjoyed the party too. And I was like, that's so weird. I don't like hanging out with all these people because I work with them. Why are you doing parties with people that you work with? Don't you know that like that's just generally not a good idea? Like, from what I've heard and from my experiences, I don't like the majority of the people I worked with. Why would I want to spend a fucking holiday party with them and like go buy some present that I don't give a shit about and like play their stupid games because that's what they think needs to happen? I don't know. I hated it. I could not get out of any of those. And I didn't care because like I was in my early 20s. I did not care that I was coming off like a bitch. Like, what were you going to do to me if I wasn't going to talk to people at the party? Like, you going to punish me for that? Like, I'm at the fucking party. Here I am. I'm here. Like, are you happy? Oh my God. Like, that was so ridiculous. Do not force people to go to holiday parties, even in the military. Don't do it. It's not fair. I've never understood that concept, and it just perpetuated throughout the years of employment that I had working with other people. So that was the military. I had to attend their stupid holiday parties, and I hated them. And then when I got out of the military, one of the jobs I had when I was in college was at an adult care facility. I liked working during Christmas there because I worked there for like 2 or 3 years, and sorry for the dry mouth. I feel like this happens all the time. Sorry about that. But anyways, I liked working during the holidays because once again, I was still like in my 20s. I didn't have my parents lived next to me because I moved to the States, but like I wasn't like dating anybody. I don't have kids. So I liked working at the adult care facility during the holidays because half of the residents' families didn't come and get them. And that pisses me off to this day because I know this shit happens everywhere on a regular basis. And it was just like baffling to me that families are willing to drop off their old parents to get taken care of, but like you can't be bothered to visit your parents. You can't be bothered to take them out of the facility for at least the day to spend the holiday with you. Like, how rotten. So I spent time with the residents when I wasn't working in the kitchen cooking the meals, or doing the dishes. I would spend time with them. I would go with them to their rooms and like write letters that they annotate, like that they, I don't know how to say it. They couldn't write, so they would tell me what to write, and I would write letters and mail them to their family for them, or go across the street and get them a few things from the store that they needed, listen to their stories. I loved hanging out with those people. I loved it. But what I didn't love was being told that I had to attend the fucking Christmas party with the staff. What the fuck? And so I was, again, like I said, I was in my 20s. I was a very confrontational person. I was not nice when I was poked, but I still didn't really know how to speak up for myself in some ways. Like, I just kind of was like, I have to go to this party. Like, that's not fair. And just kind of going with that and not realizing that, like, I don't, in fact, really have to go, because it's not like they were going to fire me. I was one of their best workers. But anyways, I went to a party that I was told I had to go to at the adult care facility. And at that party were my parents, because they both worked at the facility as well. And they would, oh God. Like, the party we put on for the residents was great. I liked that party. The party that we had with the staff was stupid. It was just stupid. Like, more, let's get some, like, white elephant presents and bring those in and play a game. And let's play, like, Christmas employee bingo or some bullshit. Or let's play, like, a raffle. You guys can pick a ticket, and, like, the top, whoever gets the top prize or whatever, I don't know. It wasn't anything more than like a $20 gift card. But people were like, oh my God, I can't believe I got this. It's a $20 gift card. Like, go fuck yourself, man. Like, how was that fun for you? Sorry, that sounded mean. But I was at that party, and I tried hiding out. I would go to like a residence room and like spend time with them. And like, but at the same time, my motivation was also to hide from people. I always got found. I don't fucking know how. People always found me, and that place was not small. There's so many different rooms, so many places I could be. I even went downstairs to the basement in the laundry room, and I was found there. Like, I was just trying to hide out. I guess I could have just gone home, but I didn't know I was allowed to do that. And then keep in mind that I had gotten out of 5 years in the military, where they pretty much brainwash you and you do what you're told. And that followed me for many years after I got out of the military. So I did not like that Christmas party at that place. And then once I graduated college, I became a substance abuse counselor. And so my first outpatient clinic, I might have mentioned this before, but the CEO was a narcissist. She was this tall, rail thin, blonde bitch. She was mean. She felt evil. Like, whenever she came into the building, no joke, it just, to me, the best way to describe it is it just felt like a dark cloud. It was just hanging over the clinic whenever she was there. I would be in session with a client, and I could feel when that fucker came into the building. I could just feel it. And we all were scared of her. Like, oh, she was just so mean. She would put you down. She just enjoyed making you feel stupid. And she also enjoyed forcing people to go to her fucking Christmas parties. And so here's what one of them was like. We went to a hotel. I get that people travel a lot for work, and hotels are convenient places to have your little work meetings or whatever. But I always thought it was weird to go to a hotel to have a party when I wasn't staying at the hotel or anything. Like, is there no other place that like you can have a holiday party except a hotel? I don't get it, but we had to go. And if you didn't go, I don't remember, like, I don't remember if there was a threat or whatever. I just remember it was like feeling like you have to go. And this was when I met Alicia. And this was when, because we were both counselors, we were kind of like, we were in the early stages of our relationship. And because I met her at that outpatient, and nobody found out about us until like, well, I'll get to that later, but nobody knew about us. They just assumed we were friends as far as we knew. And so it was nice to have her to go with, but we go to this hotel conference room. There's a bunch of like tables set up. There's no assigned seating, so you just sit wherever. I remember her and I managed to find a table that could seat like 8 people, but it was just us and like 2 other people at that table the whole time, I think. And I don't remember if we had to get presents or not. Like, I don't think we did, but I remember sitting at that table and smelling alcohol. And like a couple of tables over, there were counselors. So like this outpatient clinic had locations in the like 3, 4, 5 different clinics. And so like all of those people were there too. It wasn't just our small clinic. It was all of the clinics owned by that company or whatever. And you're working in the addictions field, drugs and alcohol, and you're drinking at a holiday party. Like, it was so taboo. I couldn't believe the balls that they had. And it was like nobody was willing to say anything to them. And when you have staff members that are in recovery and you're drinking around them and like you're expected to go to this party and it's like a sober party, because that's just what you do in the field. You don't go to another party or to a work party and drink. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just, you don't do it. And they were doing it and nobody said anything. And I remember looking at Alicia like, why are they allowed to get away with this? This is like an addictions holiday party. Like, what the fuck? And so there was that. Then they had this huge tree, and some fucking Santa came in there, and everybody that had kids brought their kids, and all the kids were up there sitting on the floor around the Santa and the CEO, because of course she had to be the center of attention, and they were handing out these presents to kids, and there was good shit too. There was like these expensive toys they were getting, video games. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. And like, we were under the impression that the staff was getting presents too. So I remember thinking, wow, if the kids are getting this, I can't even like think of what we could be getting. Like $100 gift card would be great or something like that. I was so excited. Sorry for the gross sound. And so once the kids got done with their shit and it was time for the staff, all of a sudden these people appeared with boxes of presents that were all the same size. It was the size of a book. And we weren't allowed to open it yet, right? So like they had to go around and place one of those presents in front of each person, which took forever. And then after they did, there was like, oh my God, a couple hundred of us there maybe. And after that was done, then the CEO was like, okay, everybody open their gifts. And so we opened it and we all got the same book. It was a Katie book. It was like some book about a dog, and it was just called Katie. Something like that. Like a Katie, like I just remember it was a dog named Katie, and we all got that fucking book. And me and Alicia were looking at each other like, is this real life? You know, it's not like I'm ungrateful. I wasn't ungrateful or anything like that. Like, I'm usually like a pretty grateful person. I just couldn't understand the logic behind all the kids that, like, we don't even know these fucking kids. The only people that know these kids are their parents. They get all this cool shit. Meanwhile, here are your employees who bust their asses for your shitty ass pay, and you give us all a goddamn book. Oh my God. Me and Alicia made Katie joke books, or not. We joked about that book for years. I'll just say that. And I took my book and I just threw it in the trunk of my car. I had that car for years and it stayed there for years, that fucking book. I don't know why I left it there and why I didn't just throw it away, but I remember thinking like, this is what I came to this holiday party for. is to watch kids get great presents, smell people drinking booze next to us, and then all of the employees getting the exact same gift. Are you dumb? Could you not have at least given people different books? Because maybe they would like share with each other or something like that. No, we all got the same book. What is that? Like, was there some sale on that book? And you were like, oh, this is cheap. Everybody will like this. They'll get something. Oh, that was a terrible party. Oh, I was not happy. And, it wasn't just us. Like, thank goodness. Because as I was looking around, other people had perplexed expressions on their faces. Like, what the fuck is this? And they're all like holding this book up, looking at each other. Like, looking back, it's hilarious. Oh my God, it's so funny, like looking back, but at the time, no, it was not good. It was not good. What else did I write down here? Outpatient number 2. Okay, so that was the one that we moved to Syracuse for. That was the one where we only worked there for 6 months, and then the company got shut down because like there was money being embezzled at the top and all of this shady shit going on, and the rest of us had to suffer. But so that holiday, because it was from June to December. Well, I should say I worked there from June to probably January. And so it was like the beginning of December. We're going on our 6th month working at this outpatient program that hired us to rebuild it because it had like no curriculums. It was an intensive did I say outpatient? I'm sorry. Sorry for my all over the place. It was an intensive residential. It was not an outpatient. It was an intensive residential program where clients would live there for at least 8 months while they were getting sober and learning about life. And I loved what I did there, even if for the short amount of time that I was there. I loved that I got to see the patients all the time, or the clients or whatever. I know they're called patients now, but back then we called them clients, and I got to see them all the time. It was kind of nice, but anyways, there was no holiday party. The holiday party was us being told, hey, we're getting shut down. You have like, I don't know how long we had, like 2 weeks maybe, to find other places for these clients to go to treatment for. And I remember like coming into work and there were Christmas decorations. Like there was a tree. They were everywhere. It was like Christmas decorations. And this was like while we all knew that the place was shutting down, people were still putting decorations up. And I just thought that was stupid. I was like, why are you pretending like everything's good here when it's not? Like, you want to be like all fa la la, ha ha ha, everything's fine. But like people mismanaged money and did some stupid shady shit, and now we all have to suffer, and the clients have to suffer because they have to be just like uprooted and sent to all these different places. It was the worst, but like the management wanted to pretend like everything's all good, Merry Christmas, like, sorry you guys are getting laid off, because that's what we were told. Like, we were getting laid off by January, and that's how long we had to get our clients to other treatment programs, and each of us had the caseload of at least 20 people. That's a lot of people to have to just all of a sudden find new places to send them to, which is not an easy feat. Like, if you're in the field, you know what I'm talking about. That shit's not easy, and we had to do it. And I think the only way we managed it was because every place we called and told them what happened, they were so shocked. They were like, yeah, let's see if we can find a place for this person. You know what I mean? So that wasn't necessarily like a holiday party. I just thought it was odd that they were decorating for Christmas, knowing that the place was shutting down and that the staff was sad. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, I had to include that. And then the last place I worked at, the third outpatient number 2, I should say. This is the one that I worked at for like, I don't know, was it 5 years? And then I quit it and started freelancing. So that was that job. I know I've talked about those holiday parties before, I believe, but let's see, a couple of years, the party, about 3 years, I think. 3 out of the 5 I was there. 3 of the years, the parties for staff were held at the owner's house, and they had a big house. They had a huge room, like with a pool. Like it was indoor pool, and it was huge, and that's where we would have like our Christmas parties, and then people would go swimming in the pool. Those weren't terrible. The way that it went was we all went to the owner's house. There was a total of like, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 at the most that worked in that little clinic. And we went there and we had the party. It was like a potluck. Oh God, I hate those. That's so cheap, man. Just get your employees some good shit. Stop making them cook their own food and bring it. I wouldn't eat anything except what Alicia made and what I saw that was store-bought. I don't like eating other people's food because I don't know how they cook. I don't know like what their sanitary practices are or are not. So there was that. But like the reason we all went to that party every year was because we were getting bonuses. They would give out like good ones too, like $500, $1,000. And that's pretty much why we all attended the party, was because that's when they handed out the bonuses. And I remember thinking, I have to go because I don't want to just show up to work on Monday and the check is in my inbox, like at work. I would feel kind of like I felt like that would be rude. Like they're giving you a good bonus and you can't even be bothered to show up for it. So that's why I went to the parties. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to spend time with anybody. I didn't want to do the present exchange thing. I just wanted the bonus. And then after that, there was like a window of about, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes after everybody got their bonus. And then they thought that was enough time to like stick around after and not look like they just came to get the bonus. And that's when we all started filtering out after that. I don't know. It looked kind of obvious, but whatever. So those were, I guess, doable. And then, like, going into, like, my 4th year there, the company started having issues with money. They weren't making as much. They were losing quite a bit. So the bonuses went away. All bonuses in every format, not just holidays. They went away. And then they got to where they couldn't really afford a whole lot. So they did the party at the clinic itself in, like, one of our tiny group rooms where we would have groups with the clients. That's where they had the party. And the one year, I went to it because that was what was expected. And then the last year I was there, I avoided it. I did not go. I stayed in my office and I let the staff like do whatever the fuck they wanted in that room, have fun. I'm not doing it. I had work to do. And that's when my supervisor at the time, oh, that fucking bitch, Sarah. Oh God. That's when she came into my office and I was already like on the brink of like leaving that fucking place. I was like, I gotta go. I don't like it here. And she came in there and shamed me for not going to the party. She was like, why are you just sitting in your office? You're the only one out of everybody in your office, like doing work instead of having fun. And she was serious about it. She was mad. Because she had to put on this party and she didn't even want to, but like the CEO made her because she was the clinic supervisor. And so I guess she took it personal that I wasn't there. And I was like, I don't want to be there. And I didn't know that I'm autistic. So at the time, I just remember feeling like I don't want to be around all that noise. I don't want to be in that bright room where all I have on are those huge fluorescent lights that give me headaches. It's so loud. There's so many smells from like the different foods. Everybody's unwrapping presents. There's these crinkling sounds. They're just so loud. And I remember thinking in my head, like, I wanted no part of that. I wanted no part of like small talk. None of it. And I had work to do. So I figured, what's the problem with me working? Why do I have to go to this party down the hall? She was pissed. And, if I'm honest, it's just pretty childish. Like, this lady was like, in her 40s, acting like a child because I didn't want to go to her fucking Christmas party down the hall. Like, give me a break. Then, like, these weren't really staff parties, but they would also do client parties every Christmas, which I thought was cool. They would, like, we would all bring in food and set it up, and clients got to come in with their families. They could bring their kids. We had like games for them. We had gifts. It was nice because, people in recovery, like around the holidays, it's just tough sometimes, especially when people have broken relationships with their families because of like their addiction and they feel lonely and stuff. And I liked those kinds of parties. What I liked was like doing this stuff for them. I did not like going, I don't know, there were so many clients and like all of the staff were there. It was just so many people and they were singing carols and I was like not wanting to have any part of that. So what the owners would do, because I'm just gonna like, they're not in business anymore. Their company, like they went out of business because they weren't making money. And this was like right after me and Alicia left. So it turns out we left at a good time. But they would want us to commit fraud. And so let's say I have a caseload of 30 clients because my caseload was pretty big. And let's say that 20 of them came to that client party. The owners would want us to bill insurance and consider that like a clinic visit, like they did treatment. And they did not do treatment. They attended a fucking party. And Alicia and I were the only ones not comfortable doing that because we have ethics. We don't commit fraud. Come on, man. And like I would call the state and like Oasis and like report them. Nothing ever happened. I don't know why. Like I would report them like, this is what they're trying to make us do. Nothing ever happened. So I just flat out told the owners, I'm not doing this. It is fraud. And I knew that they were going to cringe at that word. I didn't fucking care. That's what you're doing. I'm going to call you on it. You want us to commit fraud, you motherfucker. I'm not doing it. No, thank you. And so the only way I was willing to bill and make money for them with clients is if I met with these people in one-on-one sessions and then billed that way because that was an actual treatment session. So I would meet with them for like half an hour. Maybe I'd have 10 people come. And so like I would show up to the party and instead of hanging out with all the people doing all the things, I would meet with my people one-on-one, make sure they're doing okay, that they have a plan for the holidays, that they're not by themselves. And then we can build the insurance company and they can make their money that way. Like, give me a fucking break. And I preferred that anyways because, I don't know, like, I don't know. I just thought it was like more important to like visit with the clients and to make sure that they were doing okay than to just like go spend time with them, eat food with them, and then just like turn right around and bill insurance companies for treatment sessions that never happened. I don't think so. Sorry for the gross sounds. I'm going to get off of here soon. But, yeah. Holiday parties just at workplaces should not be allowed. No, they should not be allowed. I don't care anymore because I don't work for people anymore, but still, like, I can't help but be reminded of the torture every holiday season, of the torture of like being forced to spend time with people you don't want to spend time with, do things you don't want to do. No, thank you. And what do my holiday parties look like now? Well, it's me, it's Alicia, and it's our cats. And we hang out at home for Christmas because her family's crazy. I don't have any relationship with my family. And we don't really care too much for being around people. So we stay home and we spend Christmas by ourselves. And we love it. And she has to attend her holiday parties and I don't. So sucks to be her. But she apparently likes her parties. So she can go have fun at them. But I don't have to do them anymore. And so if there's anybody out there that had to suffer through a holiday work party this year, I am so sorry. I remember how crappy that felt. And I can say this now because I know better. You don't have to go to them. unless you're in the military and they still force you. I don't know if they do that. But like if you're not in the military, you don't have to go to your fucking holiday parties. Don't go if you don't want to go. Do not go. It is not worth it. Do not go. Hopefully this was relatable in some way. And if you're listening in real time, hey, I hope you have a great Christmas or whatever holiday that you celebrate or don't celebrate. I hope like you have a good time, not hanging out with fuckers. Okay, gotta go. Bye.